For the past decade, every discussion about Africa's energy independence began and ended with one man, Aliko Dangote, to single-handedly liberate West Africa from its humiliating dependence on imported European fuel. But while the world was fixated on Nigeria's high-stakes mega-monopoly, a quiet revolution was happening just 300 miles west. Ghana was building its own answer to the energy crisis. And unlike Nigeria, Accra didn't put all its eggs in one billionaire's basket. Welcome back. To understand why what Ghana is doing matters so much for the rest of Africa, you have to understand the paradox. For over 60 years, West Africa has been trapped in an absurd economic cycle. Oil-rich nations extract millions of barrels of top-tier crude oil every day, export it cheap to refineries in Rotterdam or China, and then spend billions of scarce foreign currency importing finished petrol, diesel, and jet fuel back home. This imported fuel model didn't just drain national foreign exchange reserves, it left African currencies hyper-vulnerable to global oil shocks, dollar shortages, and massive import tariffs. When global energy prices spiked, African governments were forced to borrow billions to subsidize fuel at the pump or watch their economies collapse under rampant inflation. The consensus was unanimous. Africa had to refine its own crude. Nigeria's solution was the Dangote Refinery, a 650,000 barrel per day Titan built at a single train mega project. It was designed to solve Nigeria's downstream problem in one giant leap. And while Dangote is undeniably an engineering marvel, it revealed the extreme danger of single point dependency. One, huge debt burdens running over 19 billion. And two, intense political battles with state oil regulators and national oil companies over crude supply. And three, systemic risk. If one facility faces operational delays or political friction, the entire region's fuel security stalls. Ghana looked at Nigeria's mega-monopoly strategy and chose a completely different path, the hybrid ecosystem model. Instead of betting everything on one single domestic tycoon or state enterprise, Ghana executed a multi-tiered blueprint. One, partner with foreign direct investment, that is FDI, for fast private capital. Number two, revive and modernize legacy state infrastructure. And number three, mandate local crude allocations from domestic offshore fields. And number four, lay the foundation for a massive regional export hub. The core driver of Ghana's refinery awakening is the Sentuo Oil Refinery in Tema. Conceived under a strategic industrial collaboration with China's Sentuo Group and backed by nearly $2 billion in private capital, Sentuo quietly opened phase 1 in early 2024, processing 40,000 barrels per day. And while many expected Sentuo to take years to scale, Ghana accelerated phase 2, securing syndicate funding to boost processing capacity straight to 100,000 barrels per day, alongside integrated petrochemical manufacturing. At the same time, the Ghanaian government tackled its historical white elephant, the state-owned Tema Oil Refinery, TOR. After years of inactivity due to operational bottlenecks and debt, TOR underwent turnaround maintenance, secured crude delivery agreements, tolling structures, and restarted operations, targeting 45,000 barrels per day. Combined, Sentuo and TOR give Ghana over 145,000 barrels per day of refining capacity, more than enough to cover 70% of the country's entire domestic fuel consumption. Here is where Ghana executed a policy maneuver that solved the exact problem currently stalling other African refinery projects: crude feedstock security. In most oil-producing African nations, offshore crude is owned by international oil majors under complex production sharing contracts. As a result, even if a country builds a local refinery, international companies prefer exporting the crude to overseas spot markets for US dollars rather than selling it locally. Ghana bypassed this hurdle by issuing a landmark policy directive directing state crude allocations from the offshore Jubilee field straight to local refineries. For the first time in its history, Ghanaian crude extraction from Ghanaian waters was piped directly into Ghanaian refineries to power Ghanaian cars. This single policy shift achieved three critical goals. Number one, foreign currency savings. Refineries pay in local currency or structured agreements, shielding Ghana's central banks from dollar shortages. Number 2, guaranteed supply. Local plants aren't left stranded waiting for imported foreign crude. And number 3, price stabilization. Freight costs are drastically slashed by eliminating long international sea voyages. Meeting domestic demand is just step 1. Ghana's long game is about becoming the undisputed downstream energy hub for all of West Africa. Enter the Jomoro Petroleum Hub, PHDC, a multi-phase 60 billion mega project sprawling over 12,000 acres. Located in deep water near the border with Cote d'Ivoire, Jomoro is designed with a 27-meter natural draft capable of docking very large crude carriers, VLCCs. Phase 1 alone targets 300,000 barrels per day. Combined with Tema's refineries, Ghana is positioning itself to export cheap refined fuels across landlocked West Africa, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and directly challenge Nigeria's market dominance. For years, the narrative was that African countries had to choose between two terrible options: remain dependent on European fuel imports forever, or find a multi-billionaire willing to risk everything on a giant mega-refinery. Ghana just proved that there is a third way. By combining targeted private foreign capital, reviving state assets, mandating local crude allocations, and building modular capacity, Ghana created a resilient blueprint for resource-rich nations from Uganda to Angola. African energy independence won't be won by a single country or by a single billionaire. It will be built block by block, refinery by refinery, by nations smart enough to process their own wealth right at home. What do you think? Can Ghana's hybrid model outperform Nigeria's mega-refinery model in the long term? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more deep dives on African economics and global trade. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.